Unacademy. Let's crack it.
Hi everyone, welcome to Unacademy. I am Dipanshu Singh, one of the top educators on the platform. And आज हम लोग बात करेंगे यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विसेज इंटरव्यू के बारे में जो जनरली माना जाता है काफी अनप्रेडिक्टेबल होता है एंड एज यू नो यूपीएससी को जनरली अनप्रेडिक्टेबल कमीशन के नाम से भी जाना जाता है बिकॉज दे कीप ऑन ब्रिंगिंग सरप्राइजेस एवरी ईयर. तो सिविल सर्विसेज की जर्नी में अगर आप देखें प्रीलिम मेंस और इंटरव्यू 3 स्टेजेस होते हैं. प्रीलिम एंड मेंस जनरली ऐसा बोला जाता है, माना जाता है कि वो आपके बहुत हद तक आपके हाथ में. बट इंटरव्यू एक स्पेसिफिक एरिया ऐसा हो जाता है जहां पे आप कह सकते हो कि डिपेंड्स टोटली ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर डे एंड आप शायद ज्यादा उसके लिए उतना प्रिपेयर नहीं कर पाते एंड इट टोटली इज बेस्ड ऑन द फ्लो. तो आज हम लोग यूपीएससी के और पहलू के बारे में बात करेंगे एंड विल आल्सो टॉक अबाउट दिस इंटरव्यू प्रोसेस एंड आई एम वेरी हैप्पी टू हैव विद मी मिस्टर अभिषेक सराफ. हाय अभिषेक, हाउ आर यू? एंड ही secured ऑल इंडिया रैंक 8 in the civil services examination जो अभी recently conduct हुआ था and currently undergoing training in Labasna, Missouri. So Abhishek, welcome to the program once again and very happy to have you here. So कैसा चल रहा है अभी Labasna में?
Good evening, Dipanshu. Thank you very much for having me here, and it's always a privilege and an honor to be able to share my experiences. And Lavasna mein we are towards the end of the phase 1. Actually, exams are going on, so abhi it is a little bit hectic, but it is always a good experience. It is always a learning opportunity to be here, to be able to interact with so many people, and get involved in as many activities as you want. So it is like a dream come true, but then every good thing has to last.
So अब मैं अपने जो जितने भी व्यूअर्स हैं उनको मैं पहले बता देना चाहता हूँ मिस्टर अभिषेक के बारे में कि बड़ा ही प्रोलिफिक सा ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड रहा है इनका. मतलब वन सीवी जिसको आप बोल सकते हो कि बड़ी एनविएबल हो सकती है बिकॉज इसके पहले अभिषेक, करेक्ट मी इफ आई एम रॉन्ग, आपने इंजीनियरिंग सर्विस 2013 में एग्जाम क्रैक किया एंड उसमें भी आपके शायद सेकंड हाईएस्ट इंटरव्यू मार्क्स थे 150 आउट ऑफ 200. देन सिविल सर्विसेज 2017 में ही आपने क्रैक कर लिया था एंड 193 यू गॉट इन द इंटरव्यू which is I think one of the highest marks. I think third highest रहे होंगे उस साल के. And then again 2018 में you got 193 again, which is like exact number, दो consecutive सालों में. And then finally अभी 2019 के एग्जाम में you secured 190. तो ये 190 का golden number जो आपने हर बार अचीव किया है, and I think even engineering services में it's one of the highest marks. तो what is the trick? मतलब क्या है इसका राज, क्या है ऐसे इंटरव्यू में कंसिस्टेंटली लेके आना? बिकॉज मेरा जितना एक्सपीरियंस रहा है फ्रॉम पर्सनल पर्सपेक्टिव एंड जितने लोगों से मैंने बात की है, जितने स्टूडेंट्स हैं, ये बेंचमार्क एक हो जाता है कि आपने एक बार, कई बार कुछ लोगों को होता है दे स्कोर मोर एंड देन नेक्स्ट ईयर शायद ज्यादा पढ़ाई कर लेते हैं तो 180, 170, 160 भी हो जाता है. व्हाट वाज योर फोर्टे, या फिर आप कह सकते हो कि आपने कैसे मैनेज करा इसको?
See, thank you very much for the kind introduction, but then I would like to say कि first of all you have to understand what the interview is all about. Many people carry this wrong impression, I should say, that interview is about your personality. It is called personality test, but then please realize it is not about the tangible personality. It is not about how you speak English and how smooth you are and how you carry yourself. It is not about that. It is about your intangible personality, like how you think, how you analyze, what kind of personality you have, like what kind of qualities you have in your personality. Are you humble? Are you inquisitive? Are you honest? So please realize what the interview is all about. And secondly, please realize that it is an exam at the end of the day. Don't think that I will not prepare, I'm what I am, and they will judge me based on what I am. No. You have to show good qualities of yourself, the desirable qualities that UPSC does want to see. Everybody has some of those qualities, and it is your duty to exhibit those qualities within the 30 minutes that the board gives you. So realize what it is about and show it that I have those qualities. And at the end of the day, keep 3 words in mind that I always say, that you have to generate a dominant, positive impression on the interview board. Now, why dominant? Because it just cannot happen that you make no mistake in the interview. People will see some flaws in you. You will make some mistakes, but then realize it has to be a dominantly positive. There are some mistakes, that's okay. And obviously positive impression. You want them to give you as many marks as possible. Right. So realize that what the interview is about. And UPSC has been very transparent about it. It has mentioned time and again in its notification that it is about like the candidate should have integrity, logical thinking, clear vision, and rationally they should be able to think rationally, and they should be able to put their arguments across with clarity. So these are some of the qualities, and in my experience, some of the qualities that I would like to add is that you must be aware, you must be inquisitive, you must be humble, you must be honest, you must be sincere, you must be compassionate, you must have leadership qualities, but at the same time, you should also realize that you know very little. even though
Right.
you have qualified mains, but you know very little. So you should be trainable as well.
Right.
If you are able to depict these qualities to the interview board, then you should be able to sail through.
So Abhishek, thank you for the pointers. What dominant wala point was something new, which I came across, that you have to be dominant, but at the same time you have to be humble. मतलब show off नहीं लगने चाहिए basically.
I should correct. You have to give a dominant positive impression. It means the impression should be mostly positive. It cannot be all positive.
Right.
Don't like go into a spiral that okay, I've made a mistake in the interview, so my interview is gone. It's
Right.
not like that.
Okay.
Interview should be mostly positive. It cannot be all positive, but you should try to make it as positive as possible. I did not mean that you should dominate the interview board.
Right.
And one more thing, while we are on this, I generally associate with two words: rigidity and firmness.
Okay.
You should not be rigid in the interview board, but you should be firm. What
Right.
I mean is that you should have a rational, thought out opinion. You
Right.
should be able to stand by that opinion, and you should not be gullible when somebody gives you an argument and you go with the flow and say, okay, I was wrong. No. You should be able to absorb that argument, think about it rationally, and then reproduce your opinion.
Right.
But at the same time, it might so happen in the interview that some points that you missed while forming an opinion, they were brought up by the interview board, and you realize that, okay, I was wrong. That is the point of time where you should show your humility and not rigidity. If you say, no, this is my opinion, that's final, then you're being rigid. You should
Right.
be firm, not gullible, but not rigid either. That is another thing that I would like to add.
So Abhishek, we'll talk more about this rigidity and firmity from रहने के बारे में, because I think वो एक बहुत thin line है जो separate करेगी.
Exactly.
Coming back, so अभी आप छिंदवाड़ा district में posted हो, you'll be joining soon after completing your one of training. So let's talk a little bit about IAS. So आपका ड्रीम था IAS में जाना. I mean generally जैसे जब हम DAF fill करते हैं तो preferences अगर जब हम choose करते हैं, so IAS, IPS and IPS, I think ये आपने पहले भी जवाब दिया होगा कि why did you choose IAS? But now since you are on the field एक तरीके से, so did your perception change a little or did you learn something new? Of course आपने ट्रेनिंग में बहुत कुछ सीखा होगा. IAS के प्रति perception कुछ change हुआ आपका?
दो चीजें मैं एकदम कैटेगोरिकली ऑब्जेक्टिवली कहना चाहूंगा. IAS perception does change a little bit. जब हम तैयारी कर रहे होते हैं तब हमें लगता है कि नहीं IAS फर्स्ट IAS भरना है. 99% ऑफ द पीपल ऑप्ट फॉर IAS एज देयर फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस. तो ऐसा लगता है नहीं IAS ही है, बाकी सब सर्विसेज तो ठीक है.
Right.
ऐसा नहीं है. प्लीज रियलाइज दैट ऐसा नहीं है. ठीक है, IAS बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म देता है, आपको गवर्नमेंट के रिसोर्सेज चैनलाइज करने का मौका देता है, एक्सपोजर देता है, बट एवरी सर्विस हैज देयर इंपॉर्टेंस एंड प्लीज डोंट belittle the other services, नॉट इवन इन योर माइंड. वर्बली करेंगे तो इट इज वेरी बैड, बट नॉट इवन इन योर माइंड एंड ओपिनियन. एवरी सर्विस इज कंट्रीब्यूटिंग. एंड आप जाके देखेंगे पीएमओ में या कहीं भी मिनिस्ट्रीज में, तो जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी पोजीशन से, अंडर सेक्रेटरी पोजीशन से दूसरे सर्विसेज वाले नॉन IAS ऑफिसर्स आर आल्सो बीइंग गिवन दोस अपॉर्चुनिटीज एंड दे आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग वेरी वेल. तो ये जो दूसरा अपने दिमाग में होता है ना, IAS एंड नॉन IAS, ये डिवीजन नहीं रखना चाहिए. इट इज नॉट हेल्दी एंड इट डज नॉट इवन हेल्प, नॉट इवन इन द इंटरव्यू, नॉट इन द प्रिपरेशन, एंड डेफिनेटली नॉट ऑन द फील्ड. So that is first. Second is society has a perception about IAS that IAS is some magic person who has a wand and he can fix everything. He or she can fix everything. उनके पास इतनी ताकत होती है वो कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है. IAS also works in a lot of constraints. There are all India service rules, there are conduct rules, there are laws and regulations. तो आपको उनके constraints के अंदर ही काम करना पड़ेगा. Please don't imagine yourself as a superman or a superwoman who can fix everything. ठीक है, बहुत बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म है, अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलती हैं. And I would also like to add unequivocally that it is good that these constraints have been placed on IAS. Otherwise, absolute power, absolute corruption, absolute abuse. तो constraints होना बहुत desirable है, और society generally इसको perceive नहीं करती है. They see IAS as some sort of superman. ऐसा नहीं.
Abhishek, I mean, मैं थोड़ा सा digress करूँगा point से, because you have brought it up. Because I wanted to have your your opinion on this, because ये रोज सवाल मुझसे भी पूछा जाता है, and I think ये question होगा probably इस बार interview board में about lateral entry. तो आई नो, मतलब एक सर्टेन प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी ने लोकसभा में एक स्पीच में मेंशन भी कर दिया था अबाउट इट, एंड आई थिंक देयर हैज बीन सर्टेन रिजर्वेशंस अमंग द ब्यूरोक्रेसी अबाउट इट. व्हाट डू यू थिंक पर्सनली अबाउट लैटरल एंट्री? जैसे आज भी यूपीएससी ने नोटिफिकेशन निकाले हैं डेप्यूटी सेक्रेटरीज एंड जॉइंट सेक्रेटरीज के लिए. आपका क्या ओपिनियन है लैटरल एंट्री के बारे में? इज इट गुड, बैड, और मतलब उसके बारे में क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप?
See, personally, I would say that rather than constraining ourselves into a good bad situation, I would say that there are a lot of pros, but some cons also, which we have to be mindful of. Pros are definitely that there is exposure, that people will come who have more exposure, who have more specialization. They can bring in competition, they can bring in a different perspective. जो government industry collaboration है, which is like pre-LPG era में it was like poles apart. वो अब नई गवर्नमेंट है, they are trying to bring the government and industry together for the benefit of the people. जैसे कैपिटलिज्म के भी बारे में बात हुई थी 2-3 साल पहले इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में, स्टिग्मेटाइज कैपिटलिज्म है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. तो आई थिंक lateral entry can be one of the ways in which we can bridge the gap between the government and the industry and as well as bring a new fresh air into the governance, as well as expertise. But at the same time, I should be cognizant of the fact, and बल्कि मैं तो छोटा हूँ, बड़ी बात होगी, many experts have pointed out that there are some cons as well. For example, affirmative action हमारा नहीं हो पाएगा. The lateral entrance है, they might have a conflict of interest because they are from a particular field and they will be working in that field, but from a different side of the table. So conflict of interest वाली भी बात होगी. फिर how much stake they have in the game, like they will be going back to the field after 5-6 years. They can even resign earlier. So it might so happen that you are from a company, you became a joint secretary, you made a policy, and that policy is affecting your own company, which you are joining after maybe 1 month after resigning from service. Yeah. So ये जो issues हैं, one has to be mindful of them, and as well as also realize that lateral entry has several benefits to offer. तो जो framework government की responsibility है बनाने की, वो ये है कि we extract the best out of lateral entry system, but we also aware कि यहाँ से जो cons हो सकते हैं. Right. So I would say that it is a good step. It has to be gone ahead with, but mindful of the problems.
All right. Abhishek, now since आप join करोगे district अपने, and I think आप लोग बीच में भारत दर्शन and field visit के लिए भी गए होंगे. So since the pandemic अब काफी ज़्यादा transform हो चुका है and society भी काफी transform हो चुकी है. What challenges do you think a young entrant like you will be facing on the ground level? Especially post pandemic India में.
See, देखिए अब I have to give one challenge. It will be like based on what I've learned from my interaction with seniors. There is a lot to learn on the field. Especially जब आप नए होते हैं, there's a steep learning curve. You have to interact with various departments. You are posted for short stints in various departments, like you have an attachment with judiciary or land revenue system, or maybe with the police. So there are various departments to learn from. But pandemic में our attention got focused on maybe supply chain, maybe healthcare, maybe MSME industry जो उनको नुकसान हो रहा था उसमें. तो balancing the requirements of the training, जो conventional requirements होते हैं, that you have to work with every department, learn the rules and regulations, how they are working, वो with the immediate requirements की जैसे night curfew लग रहा है तो उसमें you will be at the front line for managing healthcare, managing the supply chain, managing law and order situation. So balancing these two requirements will be very important, and realizing that pandemic, even though it is lasting long, but it will end soon. Sometime or the other, it will end. So you have to go back to the usual administration. So the point that I'm trying to make, that if you go into the usual administration after the pandemic with a deficit in training, it will be very, very challenging. And it has happened with 2019 batch, and to some extent it will be affecting us as well. Uske baad dekhiye, a lot of role of technology has been emphasized during the pandemic, especially digital communication technology. Right. So usme governance has to shift to the digital communication, digital mode of delivery as well. And governance was doing that even before the pandemic. Digital India initiative था, e-governance पूरा था. तो उसमें अब you have to be able to deliver services through e-governance, as well as do it in a timely manner, do it in an expedited manner, as well as be able to carry your team with that. Carrying the government officials who have been working on a paper system for decades is very difficult, and when we have to do it in a very short timeline, that will become difficult even more. और दूसरी बात ये है कि अब digital divide जो आप बोलते हैं, अपने answers में लिखते हैं, that is going to become even more prominent. And being on the cutting edge, it will be responsibility of the government functionaries कि आप जो digital divide है वो आप कैसे breach करेंगे. Otherwise, pandemic से तो जो inequality थी वो और ज़्यादा enhance होने वाली है. Similarly, एक example मैं और दे सकता हूँ कि कई जो students थे, especially students I'm emphasizing because वो काफी ज़्यादा important learning age होती है. They dropped out of school or they stayed at home for a couple of years. अब आप देखें कई exams ऐसे हो रहे हैं कि papers are being sent to home and students are returning those papers after one day. तो उनका learning level कितना रहा होगा, कितना integrity से वो paper attempt कर पाएंगे, especially in the competitive world we have today. So the impact of that might not be visible in the short term, but ये education का जो अभी lapse हुआ है 1-1.5 साल में, it is going to create a much larger impact in the mid to longer term. So how the administrator is going to deal with that, because these are the people who miss school are going to become the human capital of tomorrow. Right. Some people have permanently dropped out. Girls में especially ये हो रहा है कि permanent dropouts हो रहे हैं कि अब 1-2 साल आप स्कूल नहीं गए तो पेरेंट्स हो सकता है वापस ही ना भेजें. So as an administrator, you have to be able to envision these problems, and not only envision but also see the solutions of these problems. So on the field, apart from usual governance, this is what I see the challenge will be for me.
So अभिषेक, जैसे अभी आप इतना फ्लुएंटली आंसर दे रहे हैं ना, ऑफ कोर्स आपने इतना बढ़िया इंटरव्यू बोर्ड में भी दिया होगा, बट एज लाइक एन एवरेज एस्पिरेंट जो लेट्स से किसी रिमोट सिटी से आ रहा है या फिर टियर 2 सिटी से आ रहा है, when they are asked these kind of question कि अगर आप एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर बनोगे, जो अब मैं आपसे ऑन द अदर साइड ऑफ द टेबल पूछ रहा हूँ, now you're a part of it, लाइक वो कैसे आदमी प्रिपेयर करके आया, मतलब हाउ डू एस्पिरेंट्स प्रिपेयर दिस आंसर? जैसे जनरली हम बोलते हैं ना, लाइक फेक इट टिल यू मेक इट टाइप वाला कॉन्सेप्ट होता है कि गिव एन
हाँ.
आंसर लाइक ब्यूरोक्रेट, या मेंस में भी आंसर ऐसा लिखो लाइक यू आर राइटिंग एन आंसर लाइक अ ब्यूरोक्रेट। वो प्रिपरेशन कैसे, जनरली जर्नी कैसी होती है? एंड यू थिंक जैसे आप इंटरव्यू के लिए जब आप प्रिपेयर करते हैं, स्पेसिफिकली इफ यू टॉक अबाउट दैट, तो इंस्टीट्यूट्स हेल्प करते हैं, मॉक इंटरव्यूज हेल्प करते हैं उसमें आपकी?
See, there are two parts to this question, and I'll answer them both. Let me make no secret about it. I mentioned earlier on this talk that interview is an exam. Personality test, as UPSC calls it, is an exam. And there is no other way around it except for preparing for it. And that's what I did. जो मैंने answers दिए थे interview में, most of the questions were from my DAF because my DAF was pretty extensive and I have detailed it in some other talks on this very platform. कि DAF aggressive भी हो सकता है, defensive भी हो सकता है, उसको आप prepare कैसे करेंगे? So most of the questions that I was asked in the interviews were anticipated. And since they were anticipated, answers were prepared for it. And the way I used to prepare answers is that I did not, people go by the perception that you have to say only 4 points in the interview. So the first 4 points that come to their mind while preparing answers for interview is what they are going to say. It is not like that. See, what I did was that, okay, I have a question, I'll Google it. Definitely I'll Google about it. So I'll come across 10, 12 points. I'll categorize them based on how impactful, how relevant, and how innovative or new that point is. So I'll make a list of 10, 11 points. Then, and I'm saying this with complete consciousness that I would mug those points up. I would learn those points. And then during the interview, I might recall 6, 7, and I might say 4, 5. But what will happen is the 4 best points, not just 4 points, the 4 best points will come forth. And that is what creates a difference. So to summarize, I would say that it was once again, I answered only in 4, 5 points. But those 4 points were not the points that I thought of, but the points that I researched, I learned, and I was able to produce with conviction and support with facts because I Googled them. Right. And that is what creates a positive impression. Okay, that what this person is saying is relevant. He's also supporting it with facts. And then they're also new, not what every average candidate who was asked this question said. Right. Obviously, I made some mistakes in the interview, but then when I said dominant positive impression, these were the things which created a positive impression, and what helped me to be perceived as a desirable candidate despite my mistakes. So that is answer to your question number 1. Question number 2 was, do institutes help? Then there's a mixed answer to this. See, like every phase of UPSC exam, civil service exam, your effort that you're going to put in, your self-study, your answer writing, or your mock answers to your interview questions, that is the most important thing, and it is indispensable, and there's no way going around it. Okay, so but institutes do help. They can help you either during filling your DAF. They can give you discussion. They can give you feedback that this is the thing that you should be mentioning. This is not something that you should. This is something that you should not be mentioning. That is point number 1. Then, like it has been known for some time that you should brainstorm questions based on what you have filled in your DAF. So getting your DAF reviewed by a new set of eyes is always helpful. So institutes can help in that as well. And then some people are not comfortable wearing that formal suit or formal dress and appearing before 5 people and answering questions. So mock interviews in institutes, that can be also helpful. Right. And then the last thing that institutes can help you with is the feedback. But then I would advise the candidates and the listeners that they should take that feedback with a pinch of salt, because with all due respect, I would like to say that sometimes the interview boards have a different perception about what the personality test is all about. Yeah. So sometimes their feedback might not be that constructive. Right. Sometimes it might also happen that their feedback might be impractical. Their feedback might be genuine, it might be valid, but it might be impractical. It might be something that you cannot work upon within 10, 15 days or 1 month. Right. Like I tend to speak at a little bit faster speed, and I have known this for some time, and I have been given this feedback in interviews, but then I cannot do much about it. But if somebody criticizes me that, okay, you speak too fast and then you'll not go to get through the interview, then it is not constructive feedback in my opinion. So you should take that.
Anyway, defy this feedback that has been given to you.
I have been given 140 marks by some boards. I'm not going to name them, but I remember the institute, and I've been given 140 marks, and I never ended up with 140 marks. Right. So that's what I was saying, that you should take the feedback with a pinch of salt. Pick something out of that feedback that you can work upon, that is relevant and that is improvable. Right. Rest you should ignore. Don't let that feedback which is not useful depress you. Right. So that is, first is DAF, then it is DAF discussion, then it is answering the question in the interview, then it is like getting the feedback. These are the things where the institutes can help you, but then you have to be smart to pick the relevant thing.
Right. So I'm very happy also that Abhishek, I came to know from the team that you're going to be a part of the interview panel process at Unacademy, and we're very happy to have you, especially knowing the fact
it's my pleasure to contribute.
you scored such brilliant marks in interview, and especially ऐसे aspirants को guide करने के लिए जो शायद अलग-अलग institutes में ना interview देके आ जाते हैं, they feel a little demoralized, and I mean you're a prime example कि generally उससे ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ता. You should have faith and belief in your abilities. Of course, you need to hone your skills.
Exactly.
I think आपकी expertise वहाँ बहुत useful रहेगी. So I just want to inform all the learners and listeners that Unacademy is launching this interview guidance program. उसका link नीचे description box में दिया हुआ है. You can click and enroll, and this is absolutely free. And we'll have some of the top-notch panelists to guide you, including Mr. Abhishek. Will be sharing his own personal experience, of his interviews, and finally now joining the service and experience of, as an assistant collector, which will be immensely helpful for all the aspirants. So, Abhishek, last bit of questions for you. You have already answered about DAF. एक सवाल आपने अटायर के बारे में बोला, ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा मिसकंसेप्शन है. कोई बोलता है ब्लू शर्ट पहनो, कोई बोलता है व्हाइट शर्ट पहनो. How important is your attire during the whole interview process?
Let me ask you one question. Had you been the chairperson of a board in the interview, would you have rejected a candidate just because you didn't like their tie?
No, I would not. But yes, of course,
that's what the answer is. That's what the answer is. I don't like your tie, but that's okay. As long as you are decent, you are presentable, you are dressed in a formal manner.
Right.
As long as you have made sure that you can dress in a manner that can be presented in formal occasions. Mm-hmm. As long as you're mindful of that, the color of your tie, the color of your shirt, the color of your suit does not matter. Mm-hmm. Okay, so your attire should be formal. You cannot wear slippers under a suit. That's wrong. That's wrong. That will be objected against, and that will get your marks cut. But then attire does not matter.
Abhishek, one more thing you mentioned about is that being humble at the same time being firm in your answers.
Yeah.
So I want to just come back to the point. जैसे कई बार क्या होता है, बहुत सारे uncomfortable questions होते हैं, which of course a lot of learner will learn from you. How do you tackle that? Like कुछ questions होंगे जो बिल्कुल आपको लगता है कि whether I should take this line or whether I should take this line or whether I should be balanced. Like, but sometimes you are in a fix. कैसे balance करें? So how do you tackle those questions? Or is it okay to say no?
It is okay to say no if you don't know. Don't try to bluff the board. There are like 5 people in the board, and most of them are above 60 years. So there's like 300 years of experience in the board, and you are like 25, 30 years at max. So don't try to bluff them. They are 10 times more experienced than you are. But then, if you don't know, you can just say no. If you know very limited about the topic, but you are very sure of what you know, so you can just start off by saying that most humbly, I would beg to submit that I know very limited about this subject, but what I know is this. When you say that, board realizes that this person does not know, so they will not grill you on it. And what you said was correct. I mentioned that what you do know is correct. Right. So what you mentioned is correct, but they will not grill you. But if you say something wrong, and you are arrogant to imagine that you will be able to fool 5 people who are twice as old as you are, then they will grill you on that subject.
Right.
So tackling a question that you don't know, you test it.
Right.
So that will show balance, but also at the same time, it will show that mostly I think that this is not a very good idea. One should avoid very extreme words like bad or good or right or wrong. See, what you don't know is that what the interview panel thinks about that topic. So if you color yourself either black or white, then you'll end up in a fix. You should use moderated words like it is more desirable, it is less favorable, it is forward-looking, it can be problematic. Don't be authoritative, don't say it will be problematic. It can be problematic, in my opinion.
Abhishek, can you give an example, like any question that you faced, you thought, in the interview, any of your interview experience was a little tricky where you could have, where you use this strategy of -1 and +2?
Okay. So I can give you an example of, I was in railways, right? You mentioned that you cleared engineering service exam.
Yeah.
So I was asked a question that should railways be privatized?
Yeah.
So there are examples like British Railway was privatized and it was a disaster.
Right.
But in Government of India, we are also going towards privatization, towards increasing role of private sector. So what you can do is like Arvind Saxena sir in 2017 CSE interview asked me that should railways be privatized. So I mentioned the cons that okay, there will be more competition, there will be investment, there will be technology, there will be management, and there will be better service as well. But then we have to be mindful of the cons as well. Like there can be the social obligation that railways discharges. That can be problematic because it might not be profitable for the private sector. Right. Then there's a huge investment in the infrastructure that has to be made. The private sector might not be that forthcoming. The railway board has as of now, the railway board has the role of policy making, adjudication, as well as implementation. That is inherently a conflict of interest kind of role if private sector is going to participate, because some authority that is competing with them in the field is also making the rules. So that can be problematic. So see, realize the language, that can be problematic. It may happen. Don't be authoritative, but then put your point across as well. And depending what your opinion is, you can customize, like you can say 4 points in favor and 3 points against it. And if you are against it, you can say 4 points against it and 3 points in favor or 2 points in favor.
Right.
So that will put across your opinion as a balanced one, well thought out one. At the same time, you can signal subtly that I think it is desirable or not.
Right. So Abhishek, last question to you is now, so results are around the corner, and what advice would you give to people who have cleared the mains examination? Like, because generally people tend to think that कि last एक हफ्ते में हो जाएगा या फिर 10 दिन में हो जाएगा interview.
Interview or personality test, whatever you might want to call it, is an exam. Do prepare well for it. It carries 275 marks, but if you look at the maximum marks, you can score as high as 206 marks in the interview, and you will need 2 GS papers to score as much.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
In your mind, you can imagine the value of interview as 500 marks. So
Right.
Do prepare well for it. Don't take it lightly. It can make or break your rank. It did make my rank in 2017 and 2018 exams, and also in 2019, but then that was a different case.
Yeah.
I got into the list solely because of the interview in 2017 and 18. That's what I was saying. So don't take it lightly, prepare well for it. And there is ample information available online. I've also done talks that are available on this platform regarding how to prepare for the interview. And realize that what is expected of you. Realize that what you have shown in the TAF and how you are going to substantiate it. The worst thing that can happen to you in the interview board is that you're caught lying. The second worst thing that can happen to you is that you are not able to substantiate what you have shown on paper. So make sure that you are an expert in your TAF. My strategy was that, okay, in general studies, people might be better than me. I mean, the interview board might know more than me, and it probably will. But in my TAF, in my detailed application form, if I've shown that this is my field, I should know something that the board does not. I should be able to tell them something new, because I'm claiming that I'm from civil engineering. And if the people from the interview panel are not from civil engineering, then I should be able to tell things to them. And if that happens, then they will see you in a different light. And that will add to the dominant positive impression. So you should at least be an expert in your DAF. Okay, you should know more than the interview board does in your DAF. For general studies, I think you should be able to handle 2 to 3 levels of questioning. And in DAF, 1 level more, 3 to 4 levels of questioning. So you should target in that manner. Some people are not able to express themselves well. Some people are not fluent in English, so they can practice. Like, they can start right away answering the questions from the previous year's transcript, either into a microphone, record themselves and listen to themselves, or they can answer the question in while standing in front of a mirror and answer to yourself, or they can form a discussion group. Like, in my opinion, a discussion group of 3 is okay, but it is a little bit smaller because you don't get ample opinions. 4 is optimum, and 5 becomes a crowd because you get less chance to speak. And when you form a discussion group, interact in a formal manner as if you're going to answer in the interview. Don't interact in an informal manner. Avoid discussion groups larger than 5, and then be an expert in your DAF current, and realize that there are only 4 types of questions that are going to be asked in the interview. Please realize that. 1 is DAF, other is situational, 3rd is HR, and 4 is GS.
Yes.
These are the 4 types of questions that you'll face in the interview. Become an expert in DAF, be honest in HR, practice situational questions, and get experience from people who are on the field, because they know things that you don't know. They have experience that you can give in the answer and look a little bit distinguished.
Right.
And other than these 3 is the current affairs or GS. Right. So stay on top of the newspapers, read Times of India, because interview panel members read that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was about to ask, but yes, then you have answered it already. Yeah, because not everybody reads the Hindu nowadays.
No, but for read Times the Hindu and Indian Express. Right. But for interview, do read Times of India. The people over there are reading Times of India, and if you're unfortunate that this happens, that something was covered in Times of India, it was not covered in the other 2 newspapers, and they happen to ask that question, and they'll say it was in yesterday's newspaper, don't you read newspaper? And then you have to put a sorry face. Right. So avoid that. Focus on these 4 questions. Focus on how you're going to answer these questions. Focus on your own shortcomings that you can do something about. Don't be demoralized by things that you cannot do anything about. Right. And that's all there is to it.
All right, Abhishek, thank you so much for sharing your insights and experience. We are very glad to have been associated with you, and really looking forward to your expertise and experience in the interview panel of Unacademy. So listeners, please do subscribe to the channel, and also description box, and as I mentioned previously, you have the link, free registration link for the interview guidance program of Unacademy. You'll see Abhishek and more of him and his experience on the platform in the interview guidance panel, and other top bureaucrats and top mentors and educators from Unacademy. So thank you so much. Have a good day, everyone, and all the best. Thank you.